Everyone is looking for time hacks to boost their focus and productivity. But you know what the most powerful one is? It's also the most overlooked, and that is sleep. You can skip meals or miss workouts and still function well, even for years. But just 1 or 2 nights of poor sleep, everything changes. Your mood dips, your focus gets scattered, it's all over the place, it's hard to concentrate, decisions become harder, even simple decisions. And usually you get more irritable and reactive and less creative. So sleep isn't just rest, it's the foundation of how you show up, how you lead and perform. So if you want lasting energy and calm productivity, prioritizing sleep is a practical and powerful strategy. In this episode, I'll share how I went from insomnia and frustration for many years to sleeping much better, all by shifting my mindset and daily habits. Welcome to Realizations with Clarissa, where productivity meets well-being. I'm Clarissa Dunan, and as a mother, wife, entrepreneur, and leader, I know how overwhelming it can be to build success while also staying healthy, fulfilled, and present for your loved ones. That's why I created this podcast, to share my realizations and one core truth: that well-being is the foundation of success, happiness, strong relationships, and impact. Here we'll talk about mindset, habits, and simple shifts that bring more energy, calmness, and joy into your life and work. Enjoy the show. I've always been a sensitive sleeper. I grew up in the Philippines and we had lots of lizards in the house. And this is the sound that they make. And that would wake me up. And you know the regular alarm clock, not the digital ones. It would make a sound before it goes ding, 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 right? So I would always wake up the moment it goes tick. Or when my mom would walk to my door to wake me up, I would be awake just because of her footsteps. And it's always been hard for me to sleep in new places, even in very nice hotels, 5-star hotels with the best ambiance and bed and the blackout curtains. It was so hard for me to get a good night's sleep every time I traveled. Or I love camping, I love mountaineering, so I wouldn't be able to sleep. So even if I went on a 2-week hike, it was a struggle. Even with all the tiredness, it was hard for me to fall asleep. So you can just imagine how precious good sleep is and has always been for me. And I've always been jealous of people who could sleep easily. And that includes my sister Lala. I remember when we were teenagers, so she was sleeping soundly on her back like that. And there were 2 mosquitoes on her cheek. And because of instinct, of course, when you see mosquitoes, you'd slap it. So that's what I did. I slapped her hard, killing the mosquitoes. And you know what? She never woke up. Oh my goodness, I said, how come I cannot sleep like that? And you know what? I remember several birthdays. You know, when they ask you, what's your birthday wish? And in my head, of course, you're not allowed to tell them your birthday wish, right? But I would wish, oh my goodness, please give me the gift of sleeping well. In the Philippines, we call it masandal tulog. As soon as you lean on something, you're asleep. So I've always really wanted to sleep well. And in my 30s, yeah, after giving birth to my daughter Sophie. She has Down syndrome, and then we migrated to Australia, and then migrated to UK, and then I found it hard to adjust, and then the problems in our marriage started to pile up. And to cut the long story short, I found it hard to cope. Plus, my difficulty in sleeping that led to insomnia for at least 5 years. And with that also came my diagnosis of depression and anxiety. So I was really, really finding the answer to how can I sleep better with all this overthinking and worries. And you know what happens when we don't feel good about ourselves and our lives, it's really hard to sleep. And on top of that, I've always been a hard worker, and it was hard for me to stop working. So even after midnight, sometimes I would be working even up to 4 a.m. Not every day, but it was a struggle for me to set that balance, right? And the boundaries around my work life and my personal life. And for several years, I also found myself suffering from revenge bedtime procrastination. Have you heard of that? I learned that term when I took my course on sleep, stress management, and recovery coaching. Revenge bedtime procrastination is when we deliberately, intentionally delay sleep. And for what? Actually, it's an effort to bring back control, because this is how I thought before. Oh my goodness, I've been working so much. I've been looking after my family. I've been looking after everyone else. I've been supporting my team, etc. Now it's my turn to look after myself. It's my turn to finally own my time. So yes, finally I'm enjoying what I'm doing. This time is for me. So I'd rather not sleep because I want to show the world that I still have control over my time. I still have control over my life. Does that sound familiar? And I've talked to so many people also unconsciously experiencing that, suffering also from revenge bedtime procrastination. And that manifests as what? Endlessly scrolling on social media, TikTok, YouTube, or Netflix, binge watching, and online shopping, and whatever that is. And usually, we stay up even if we already feel sleepy and tired. But we're still stretching our limits because we know that, wow, yes, I'm in control. And it's also a part of revenge bedtime procrastination when we feel like we don't want to go to sleep yet, because that means that our freedom would end and we would wake up again the next morning and we'd be so busy again with life, with the demands on the world. So that's why it's called revenge, right? We have revenge on life, revenge on other people. But it's actually just momentary control because it backfires. It backfires because, of course, we don't get enough sleep. So what happens? The following day, we feel groggy, grumpy, irritable. It's hard to focus. It's hard to concentrate and get things done. It's hard to make decisions. And of course, there's a very close link between mental health issues and poor sleep. So that compounds over the years that I was experiencing revenge bedtime procrastination, insomnia, and my mental health issues. So why am I telling you this? Because I know that there are so many people out there who are struggling with overthinking, maybe mental issues as well. There's a lot going on maybe in your life that it's hard to wind down. It's hard to just be still inside and get that much needed sleep. So I'm sharing this with you because after intentional personal development, and I've finished several courses, including the one on sleep and stress management, and a lot of books on sleep and quieting the mind, I found the answer. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. What are those mindset shifts and the lifestyle changes that I did that helped me to sleep well? You know, it's not perfect, like 100% of the time, it's good sleep. But you know, I've never slept this well in the past, especially during my the hardest part of my life. And so I'm happy to share what worked for me. And of course, we're all different. And I don't want you to compare yourself to me because now I'm sleeping much better. And it's because I've been working on this since 2019. So of course, I've already refined my process, my mindset, my routine around sleep. So as I share these best practices with you, right? So notice if you're comparing yourself or you're saying, oh, I wish I could do that. Remember, it was so hard for me before, but now it's much easier. And that's possible for you as well. I'm going to share with you 5 of my best practices that help me to really improve my sleep. The first is start with why. There's even a book by Simon Sinek, Start with Why. So really understand what good sleep or sleeping well can do for you. What are the benefits of that? So for me, sleeping well means 8 hours of quality sleep. And the benefits of that, I know from years of not having good sleep, I know that when I sleep well, I have more physical and mental energy. And that's very important to me. My number one value is energy. And my number one source of energy, I discovered, is good sleep. So when I have 8 hours of good sleep, I really notice that I wake up refreshed, energized, recharged. And all throughout the day, my mood is much better than when I'm not sleeping well. I'm more patient around people. And I notice that I also have a sharper mind. So it's easier to focus, to concentrate, and to get things done. So I'm more creative. I'm better at making decisions. I make decisions faster. And I know, of course, that when I'm sleeping well, it has good benefits for my health long term. Right? So if you know the benefits of good sleep, but you still find yourself struggling to find that quote unquote, that discipline, the consistency in prioritizing your sleep, then I have 2 tips for you. Okay, so one is maybe the reason or the benefits are not that deep for you to move you to taking action. And in that case, I recommend that you ask yourself 5 whys. That's your deep why. It's so deep, it's on an emotional level because we humans, we make decisions based on emotions. So when it moves us, when it's bigger than us, we're more likely to take action. So for example, and this is based on different conversations that I had with people I coach, people I work with, who suddenly realized the importance of good sleep, exercise, diet, or overall self-care. So number 1 question, why? Why is improving your sleep important to you? So you could say, oh, so I could improve my health. Why is improving your health important to you? So I would feel okay. I would feel good. I would not feel unwell often. And why is that important to you? Oh, because I want to be able to go to work and not keep getting sick, and I want to get things done. And why is that important to you? That's your fourth why. Oh, because I want to be able to support myself and my family if I can work reliably. And the fifth why is that important to you? Oh, because I value my independence and I love my family and I want to be with them longer and I want to be able to look after their needs. And in order to do that, I need to take care of my health. So that's much deeper and more compelling than just, I want to improve my sleep. Right? And you will feel that. You will feel when your why is deep enough because it goes to your heart. Okay? And another way to find out why sleep is important to you is, and I've done this with some clients as well, and it's very effective, is to visualize the end of your life. So close your eyes and reflect, or look forward into the end of your life. Right? And ask yourself, at the end of your life, what's truly important? And pause to notice the answer. What's really important? And what's not that important? Okay, and just to quote what one of my clients said, he said, oh, I've always wanted to grow my business, but I've been working so hard, not really looking after myself, and I realized that my health is important because I want to be there. What's the use of all the success in my business if I'm not there anymore with the people I love? And that's deep, right? So it's up to you. What answers did you find in there, in that short visualization exercise? You can pause this episode if you want to do that 5 whys and that visualization exercise that I just shared with you. And my next best practice, number 2, is what? Okay, you already know why sleep is important. The next step is for you to let go of any attachment to good sleep. What? After all this time that you've asked me to understand why sleep is important, you're asking me to let go of my attachment to good sleep. Why? Why? Because I found out with my own experience and after learning lots of stuff about sleep, I discovered that if we are too attached with sleeping well, like, oh, I need to sleep well. Why am I not sleeping well? This is bad. This can't happen. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be miserable the following day. I'm going to have poor health because I'm not sleeping well. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. You know, that kind of attachment? That's called sleep performance anxiety. Right? So I learned that the biggest impact on my sleep when I'm actually there in bed, the biggest impact on having good sleep is my mindset about sleep. My mindset. So number 1 mindset is that it's non-negotiable that when I'm in there to sleep, my one and only job is to relax and to sleep. Okay? So I have clear instructions to myself that I should not be thinking, I should not be analyzing, I should not be problem solving, I should not make decisions, right? I will not pursue or follow any good idea, even if it's a brilliant idea. I know that I should not follow that because my job is to relax and to sleep, not to be creative. I don't analyze my dreams because sometimes we wake up and what's that dream about? Oh my goodness, what does that mean? So I don't analyze my dreams anymore. Okay, so I'm fully committed to being present. And being present is honoring what's needed in the present moment. And in that moment, what's needed is sleep. What's needed now? Sleep, not thinking. And the second important mindset shift that I learned is that not sleeping well from time to time is normal. And that's okay. Of course, if it's happening all the time, I recommend you seek professional help. But when it's happening from time to time, like that still happens to me and that's okay. But back then, the moment I found it difficult to fall asleep, the moment that my mind would be busy, I would be so scared, like, oh my goodness, I won't be able to sleep anymore. And right? So like what I said, that's sleep performance anxiety. And that's the number one reason why people find it difficult to sleep. Or when they wake up, right? And it's hard for them to go back to sleep. And that's one of the biggest reasons. So I learned how to handle that. Number one is I observe my thoughts. So what's going on in my mind? Why is my mind busy? Oh, okay. So I'm thinking that, oh, I have a meeting tomorrow. I have a presentation tomorrow. I should get a good night's sleep. Otherwise, I'll do badly tomorrow. So I observe my thoughts. Okay, so it's that fear of not sleeping well because there's a presentation tomorrow. So one, I observe my thought. And number two is I remind myself that based on personal experience, I've always been okay. Nothing bad happened after a poor night's sleep. Or even 2 nights of poor sleep. I was still okay. Like when I was a new mother or when I was breastfeeding for several months, I had poor sleep most of the time, but I survived. Right? So, based on personal experience, and I'm talking to you, you're okay the next day. Right? So, even with poor sleep, we're going to be okay. So, it's not a problem. And it's going to help you and me to not have that attachment to perfect sleep. Otherwise, we will continually suffer from sleep anxiety. Okay? And another thing that has helped me and continues to help me is the trust that I have on the body's natural ability to adjust to things and to recover. Just like wound healing, you don't really think, oh, come on, wound, you heal, you heal. It heals on its own. And that's the same thing with sleep, even with 1 night or 2 nights of poor sleep. After you have a good amount of sleep, quality sleep, right, you recover. Right? So, what do I do when it's hard for me to fall asleep? So, for me, I've tried so many things. I got out of the room and did something else because, there are some books and some professionals who suggest that you only stay in bed for sleeping. If you can sleep for 20 minutes, you stay out of bed, do something else. So you're training your mind that all you have to do when you're in bed is to sleep. So I've tried that, but it didn't work for me. So what's working for me, and I recommend that you experiment on what works for you. So what works for me is I stay in bed and then I relax my mind and body. I don't focus on my thoughts. And the best way to not focus on my thoughts is to focus on something else because our brain can only focus on one thing at a time. So instead of following the thoughts, thinking, decision making, coming up with brilliant ideas or chasing ideas, so what do? I shift my focus away from thinking and towards my body. I focus my attention on my breath. Sometimes I focus my attention on how my body feels on the bed, how my feet feel. I sense the aliveness in my feet, in my hands. And because of that, when I'm focusing on my body, it means I'm not focusing on my thoughts. And oh my goodness, the next thing I know, I'm asleep. So that's my best practice. I just stop thinking. Okay. And at first, of course, it was not easy because for so many years, my mind was so busy. That's why it led to insomnia and depression and anxiety. But it's something that you can learn. And that's why I put up this podcast to share with you what has helped me to not just overcome my mental health issues and sleep better, but also, have that peace every day, have that fulfillment and joy every day. Yeah. So another thing that has helped me to sleep much better is I stopped looking at my bedside clock. I actually moved my bedside clock to several feet away from me. Because back then, because I couldn't sleep, I would constantly check the time. And you know what? I would think, oh my goodness, it's 1 a.m. and I've been in bed for 3 hours and I still couldn't. Then I would check the time again. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. So it was making everything worse. So now it's much farther from me, so I wouldn't be able to check it. And of course, I have this mindset that it's okay. It's not a problem. I still couldn't sleep now. I'll handle it. Everything will be fine tomorrow. And I focus my attention on my body. It's very, very effective. And I hope that you will try that as soon as possible. And my third best practice is designing my day in a way that allows me to have a good night's sleep. And again, for me, that means 8 hours of sleep. So set a time for going to bed and for waking up. It's different for all of us. So you know yourself best, right? So find out your natural circadian rhythm. What time do you normally feel sleepy? What time do you need to wake up? Right? So train your body to feel sleepy and wake up at the same time. So you don't need to keep forcing yourself to fall asleep or to wake up. Your body naturally knows when to do that. When you're going to bed and waking up consistently. But of course, I know that can't be perfect all the time, right? That's why I recommend extending your sleep opportunity. So if you want 8 hours of sleep, right, then give yourself about 8.5 to 9 hours of sleep opportunity, meaning you're in bed for longer than 8.5 hours. Because the truth is, we don't immediately fall asleep the moment we lie in bed, right? And then sometimes we would wake up, go to the toilet or whatever. So, yes, give yourself more sleep opportunity. And then, know the right timing for that. So if your goal is to have 8 hours of sleep, reverse engineer your schedule. What time do you need to get up? For example, 7 a.m. So if you give yourself the sleep opportunity of 8.5 hours, that means you're in bed from 10:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. So if you're in bed by 10:30 p.m. doing nothing else but focusing on your number one job, which is just to relax and sleep, then That could mean, well, for me, that would mean preparing for bed by 10 o'clock. Preparing for bed. So I'm in my PJs, I've washed my face, right? And if I'm already preparing for bed by 10 p.m., that means I need to wind down 2 hours before that, because I've really experimented and I found out that I need 2 hours to wind down, mind and body. So I start winding down by 8 o'clock, and that means no more physically and mentally stimulating activities. And number 4 is to discover the factors that cause your poor sleep, because we're all different, right? Reduce or eliminate these factors one at a time. So don't completely overhaul your routine because that will be too overwhelming. So once you know these factors, then find out which one of these would be easiest for you to work on and start there. So I will give you several personal examples because like I said, I've always been a light sleeper. So I've been very sensitive to so many things. That's why I really did a lot of lifestyle changes, but that happened one at a time. So number 1 factor is caffeine. Caffeine. So now I know the right timing and the right amount for me that would support my good sleep. So I now know that too much caffeine for me is coffee, which has about 120 milligrams of caffeine. Right? And that would give me palpitations and it would make it hard for me to fall asleep. So I gave up coffee how many years ago? Can't remember. Before COVID. And I know that if it's tea, about 80 milligrams or 2 tea bags or 2 teaspoons of loose leaf black tea, that's okay for me. But it has to be before noontime. And understand also that caffeine has 5 to 7 hours of half-life. That means that after 5 to 7 hours, you still have half of the milligrams of caffeine in your body. So if you drink coffee at 3 p.m., so that has about 120 milligrams of caffeine, by 10 p.m., you will still have 60 milligrams of caffeine in your body. And again, it's different for many people. It's based on genetics as well. There are people who could drink 19 cups. I talked to someone last week. She could drink 20 cups of coffee a day and she would still sleep well. But not for me and not for other people who are not genetically compatible with caffeine, right? So figure that out. And again, experiment. Find out the effect of caffeine, the amount, the timing for you. So that's number 1, caffeine. Number 2 is, for me, too much liquids after dinner. So I used to drink lots of tea for good sleep. Chamomile, lavender. I've tried all of them. So yes, it would make me feel sleepy. But then it also meant that I would... Sorry for too much information, but we're actually talking about tips for good sleep, right? So drinking lots of sleep-inducing tea would mean that I would get up several times a night, and that would, of course, disrupt my sleep because I would have to go to the toilet. But I've learned how to work around that issue. So what I do is I drink water throughout the day. I have water bottles, like here, I have 3 water bottles. So I could always see my water bottles, so I would drink throughout the day. So at night, after dinner, I won't be thirsty anymore. I wouldn't need to drink any water, even my sleepy teas. I won't need to drink that anymore, right? Because I've been hydrated the whole day. So if you're like that, if you get up a lot to go to the toilet, maybe it's because you're drinking too much liquids after dinner. And another factor, number 3, for me, it's alcohol. And it's based on research as well, that even if we think that alcohol helps people to fall asleep. It actually disrupts sleep, deep sleep and REM sleep. It fragments sleep. So I once gave a talk on sleep, and I mentioned this, and one of the attendees said, "Oh, how come even if I drink too much alcohol, I sleep through the night?" And I asked him, "And how do you feel the next day?" Right? So alcohol does not really support good sleep. But of course, if you want, you can drink alcohol, but the timing is important so it doesn't interfere with your sleep. Okay? And the fourth factor that I personally experienced affecting my sleep is bright light. Bright light. So bright light outside, or bright light, the sun in the morning. Okay, so I use an eye mask, and I also set up blackout curtains and blackout blinds, double blinds. That's how important it is for me to really sleep well. And the next one that I experienced is exercising close to bedtime. All right? Especially within 4 hours before bedtime. That's a lot of physical stimulation. So I don't know about you. Again, we're all different. But for me, before I took swimming lessons for a few months, and I realized, because it was at 8 p.m. So 8 to 9 p.m. I was swimming, and of course I was nervous as well because I was scared of deep water before. And that's a lot of physical activity, right? And I've noticed that, oh my goodness, I couldn't sleep well. And then after a few years, I also started attending a HIIT, high intensity interval training class. At 6 to 7 p.m., I couldn't sleep as well. And I learned, oh my goodness, it's because it's too close to bedtime. So I stopped that. Now I exercise in the morning. Right? So that's one factor. Another factor is working late at night. Working late at night, because that's mental stimulation. So because my sleep and good health and a clear mind, a sharp mind, they're all very important to me, I really worked on that area. I actually struggled in that area because I've been a workaholic for many years. Right? So number one, what did I do? I make work, or my computer, because I basically do my work in my computer here in my office. I make it invisible. If you've read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, that's one way to drop a quote-unquote bad habit. Make it invisible. So I don't go to my office after dinner. I go to my corner outside this office to read, to listen to audiobooks, to meditate, write on my journal, to clear my mind. Right? And another tip to make a bad habit disappear, according to Atomic Habits, is to make it difficult. So for me, I made overworking difficult. So what did I do? I installed an app, and it limits my access to my computer from a specific time that I set it up to a specific time in the morning. My goodness. It won't allow me to work. It won't allow me to cheat. And that's amazing. It has really changed my ability to wind down, to have good sleep, and of course to have quality time with my family. But at the start, it was difficult for me because it was like a withdrawal syndrome. I felt like, oh, like shaking like that. I need to work. I need to do this. I need to do that. So another thing that I did was I put my keyboard in a faraway place. In short, I put it in my husband's study. So if there were a few times that I was tempted to work, but okay, in the first place, where's my keyboard? I have to go all the way there to get my keyboard, and I have my app, so it's impossible to keep working. So that's really, really helpful. And another factor that I've just recently discovered about 2 months ago is mentally stimulating books, audiobooks, and podcasts. In short, personal development on a high level. That's very stimulating. So I've mentioned in my previous episodes that I love personal development, that I could finish one book a week, and I love learning, in short. But then I found out that, these coaching books, business books, leadership books, I'm learning, yes, but it's so hard for me to fall asleep because I would still be thinking and analyzing. And even if I'm not trying to analyze, my brain was still very active. And then it was my husband who said to me, that's because you're reading mentally stimulating material that increases your thinking. Right? So I said, makes sense. So now I stopped doing that, and I now consume, I still do personal development, but it's a different genre. So I consume books and audiobooks that allow me to slow my mind down. So that includes spiritual books. I listen to audiobooks that have retreats in them, and my mental fitness exercises. So for me, I said, okay, even if I'm not learning, quote unquote, something new, I'm learning on a different level. For me, it's even a higher level of learning because I'm learning how to be still. I'm learning how to calm my mind. I'm learning how to stop thinking. And that's for me one of the best skills that we could ever have. To stop thinking when we don't need to think. And that has a big impact on our ability to sleep, to enjoy the moment, to be creative, and so much more. Right? I'm sharing so much, but allow me to share what I learned since 2019 when I've been working on my sleep. Another factor that I've discovered that affected my sleep is my phone habit. Scrolling on my phone, social media, online shopping, messages, emails. So again, using what I learned from Atomic Habits, I made my phone invisible and difficult to access. So my phone is outside my bedroom and it's away from me where I usually sit after dinner. And again, make that habit change easy to implement. So now I automate my downtime or my screen time. So I set a certain time from the evening to the morning when it's screen off time. And that allows me to be more present with my family. I literally have my phone several meters away from me, so I'm not tempted to grab it. So I can be there for my family. And that also allows me to calm my mind and body before sleep because I'm not always on my phone. So I have quality sleep, and in the morning, because of that screen off time, up to the morning, I have that time and space to clear my mind, to exercise, to take my daughter to school. So I would literally have access to my messages and emails after I've done all those important bits. Oh, yeah. And then the last factor that I'd like to share, and this is probably the most difficult to catch because we don't see it, is what? Overthinking. Overthinking, having a constantly busy mind. That's so hard to stop or to take a break. And for several years, I had that. Okay? And that's also my passion, to help people how to overcome that, because I know it's possible. That happened to me and to several people that I've helped as well. So, number one, to stop overthinking or to prevent overthinking is I make sure that I don't have those mentally stimulating tasks 2 hours, at least 2 hours before bedtime. I've shared that a few minutes ago. And another practice is that I write on my journal. Every time I have something in my mind, I do brain dumping. I dump everything on my journal. And then I end it with gratitude, or even start with gratitude, because sometimes when I start with gratitude, all the problems disappear, that I don't have anything else to dump anymore. Journal is very, very helpful. especially gratitude, especially when you end and begin your day with gratitude. It really sets a tone of positivity for the whole day. And number 3, to prevent overthinking is, again, I focus on my body. I focus on my breath. And then I build my mental fitness every day. Mental fitness. So I'm also a mental fitness coach. That's actually my specialty. And the mental fitness is the ability to have that self-command, to stop thinking when you don't need to think. Right? It's the ability to recover quickly from a negative state, the ability to shift to a positive state even in challenging times. And that's very helpful for good sleep, for stress management, for happiness, for confidence, and everything else that we want in life. Mental fitness is very important. And I spend my first 15 to 30 minutes every day, and I have breaks doing mental fitness exercises, and I end my night with mental fitness exercises as well. And I've basically been sharing how to have mental fitness, actually how to do it bit by bit in my episodes. Right? So those are the different factors, what I learned and what I do in real life. So these are not just based on theory. I really do this because I know how important good sleep is to me. Okay, and my fifth best practice, but actually I've given you so many best practices, but I just categorized them into 5. The fifth one is to track your energy the next day. Track it. So after you tried something new, right? Track your mood, track your productivity, track your energy the next day. And you will see that, oh my goodness, yeah, this changed, right? And eventually even track improvement in your health. And you will know what's working, find out what works, and how you can do more of it. Because sometimes you don't need to do so many things. Usually it's just a few things, 1 or 2 that really work. But of course, you can top up from time to time, increase a habit. But, one habit at a time. Start with the one that's easiest, that's already working for you, and do more of that. And find out what doesn't work and what you can do differently. And I've mentioned to you things that didn't work for me and what I did differently. So feel free to experiment. Find out what works for you. These are the things that worked for me and didn't work for me. So it might be different for you, or maybe not. But how will you know if you don't experiment? So try new things, but try them one at a time. And if you miss, like for example, oh, I'm not disciplined. Oh, I'm not really prioritizing my sleep. Oh, I'm not. It's all right. It's very important that you have the ability to empathize. Empathy for yourself. Remember that we make mistakes. We break good habits from time to time. So self-compassion is very important to keep you going, because if you keep judging yourself, you feel bad about yourself, you feel bad about sleep, then that's going to increase your sleep performance anxiety. And again, that's really hard if you want good sleep. Right? So empathize. And then explore what's making it difficult for you. Maybe the one or a few factors that I shared with you earlier, maybe that's what's making it difficult for you. Maybe your mindset around sleep. And how can you make it easier? Right? What system? Because it's important that you have a system around this. Don't rely on willpower and motivation and discipline, because that's not reliable. Right? Motivation comes and goes. Discipline, it's hard when you don't even have the habit yet. And when you just rely on willpower, it's so tiring to keep pushing yourself. Right? So create a system, create habits around them. And I've shared with you how I created a system around my my sleep routine, how I reverse engineered my day. And I hope you can do something similar. to make it easier for you. Find out what keeps you awake. Are those the thoughts? Is it the sleep anxiety? Is it the caffeine? Right? And find out what's helping you to sleep better and how you can do more of that. So it's basically being okay with imperfection with your sleep. That's normal. And exploring how you can do better each time. Right? So that's it. Those are my best practices. And I have some quick action steps for you. Try this tonight or this week. Number 1, design your daily schedule that supports good sleep. Number 2, choose one action that supports good sleep. Right? And do that for 2 weeks. And number 3, let go of your attachment to good sleep because you'll be fine the next day even with poor sleep. And number 4, track your energy the next day. Find out what works and what doesn't work. And I'm very excited to hear from you and let me know what worked for you. And if you have other questions, let me know because I've been working on this for so many years and I'm very, very happy to help you if you're struggling with good sleep. And if you need one-on-one support, book your free coaching consultation and we'll uncover mental patterns and even lifestyle patterns that are draining your energy. And I will help you to build habits that fuel sustainable success, that even go beyond sleep. So go to my website at clardooncoaching.com and book your free coaching consultation today. Perhaps I'll see you then. If you enjoy the episode, share it with someone who might need it. And subscribe or leave a review. It will really help spread the message. Until next time, remember, your well-being comes first.